Spam. Either you love it or you hate it. There are very few that are caught in the in between. If you go to Hawaii, any store in Hawaii, they are most likely selling spam musubis. Or if you're visiting a friend's home, they will most likely have at least one can of spam, and that's only because they are waiting for a sale so they can restock. Everyone in Hawaii knows what spam is and how to make something tasty with it. Whether for breakfast, lunch, dinner, or better yet, all three, spam has a very strong presence in the islands. Mainlanders don't seem to understand our fascination with it, and that's okay. Maybe someday they will. But we do ask them to stop judging the pink salty treat and to please give it a chance, because that's part of what Hawaii is all about, giving different cultures and foods a chance. We encourage tourists to try new things, new foods especially, and to learn about Hawaii's culture and obsession with spam. Think about it. If an entire state can love spam this much, there must be something about it worth trying. I mean, it was brought to the islands by mainlanders, so shouldn't they give it a try? During World War II, the government needed a way to feed the troops, but because of Hawaii's heat and humidity, their choices were limited. In swoops Hormel, presenting a product that had been in the market for years but was highly misunderstood. According to Kohatsu, between 1941 and 1945, Hormel shipped approximately 100 million pounds, or 15 million cans, of the spiced meat per week to the Allied troops, who had so lovingly nicknamed it the Special Army Meat. Spam turned out to be a great alternative to most canned foods and rations because it did not need to be refrigerated and had a ridiculously long shelf life. After the war, the abundance of spam found its way into the mainstream local markets, allowing for the pink salty meat to find its way into the hearts of the local plantation families. The plantation workers who migrated to Hawaii began using spam in their cooking. Bryce noted that the Japanese, Filipinos, and Koreans began investing in spam for their everyday meals. This was a cheap alternative for meat, and after the war, it was easily accessible to the plentiful surplus. Because the plantation workers faced a similar problem to the GIs, spam was a perfect food to pack when out in the fields. The workers could pack their cans of spam, take it with them where it could sit in the heat and sun, and it would still be okay when they were ready for their lunch break. Plantation workers did not make a whole lot of money, so having this cheap meat alternative made life a little easier. Learning to adapt to what was affordable and readily available allowed for the evolution of spam and how it was being prepared for meals. Because everyone was on a fairly level playing ground financially, no one looked down upon those eating spam. It became a way of life and a tradition that would be passed on from generation to generation. Spam may not be as cheap as it was, but Hawaii's undying love for it does not hinder us from always having it in our homes. When world faced the Y2K scare, the one thing that people stocked up on in Hawaii was spam. I'm pretty sure spam stocks went way up in 1999. We would go to the big box stores and buy spam by the cases. The same goes for every hurricane Hawaii faces, where people run out, get the usual gas, water, propane, and of course spam. Wherever spam goes on sale, the grocery store knows that they have to have an abundance in stock because it will go fast. What can we say? Spam is everywhere in Hawaii. We know how to cook it, and more importantly, we know how to eat it. Weaver said it best when she said, "You're an idiot if you eat it straight out of the can." We celebrate spam with a reverence that other states may have for steak, garlic, or even barbecue by holding our annual Spam Jam Festival. In 2014, this annual festival hit 25,000 people in attendance, and its popularity is continuing to grow. This year, 2015, will mark its 13th year. The concept is simple. Besides celebrating all things spam, participating restaurants will create an exciting dish featuring spam for the public to taste. This helps give people a, a taste of spam's potential and hopefully show them why the people of Hawaii love spam so much. Did you know it is estimated that Hawaii alone consumes approximately 7 million cans per year, or about 5 cans per person per year? Honestly, though, this sounds a little low. According to Hormel's website for spam, as of 2007, they sold their 7 billionth can of spam, and I'm pretty sure Hawaii had a big part in the contribution. Even though the war was a difficult time for those involved, it did introduce the wonderful salty treat named spam to Hawaii, where it has become a staple food anywhere you go in the islands. McDonald's, Burger King, and pretty much every local eatery, even 7-Eleven, will have something to sell that is spam. It seems that Hawaii has become a little synonymous with the word, and we're okay with that. We celebrate it like it deserves to be celebrated, and there is no shame in the revelry we have for this blue can of delight. Even though Spam was brought to Hawaii out of need and kept in Hawaii out of necessity, it has grown into so much more. That need for cheap foods forced people to find a creative way to cook Spam, which has helped evolve it into what it is today. There is so much more to Spam than it just being a pink salty treat. The state of Hawaii has perfected the art of Spam and all that it has to offer. For an entire state to love this meat that much and celebrate it in the way that we do, it has to show the rest of the nation that we're onto something good. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my informative speech about Spam in Hawaii, and have a wonderful evening.